In the words of Blink-182, nobody loves you when you're 23, and the PlayStation 2 turns 23 this week, so we figured we could talk about some of the PS2 games that nobody loves except for us. Or maybe they're underrated, or maybe we just want to talk about them for the hell of it. Jada, you want to kick us off?
Yes. My darling in the rough is The Bouncer, a little action RPG by Square Soft before the Square Enix merger. This RPG was like one of the first PS2 games I played. It features a main character named Scion, who is this amalgamation of Sora from Kingdom Hearts and Titus or Titus, however you want to prefer it, from Final Fantasy X. Like, it's just kind of this combination of the two. And it's this brawler, like it's kind of the Streets of Rage 2D brawler that we got growing up translated into a 3D brawler. And then it was one of the early PS2 games to add like multiplayer versus, so you could fight against each other from a cast of characters.
This was
3D
Tetsuya
brawler,
Nomura, wasn't it?
I believe so.
That clip we showed just looked like Sora went to the mall and got jumped in the food court.
Yeah, and then he had to jump into the nearest Hot Topic to get a new set of a new outfit to
Kingdom Hearts,
boost his
Pacific
stats.
Sun Coast, whatever.
Yes. But yeah, and like it was like one of the few games where I could actually use like my PS2 multi-tap early into the PS2's lifespan to play 4 players. And it was a blast. I had a lot of fun with this one. The story is it's a story. But like it's one of those games. It's kind of like those very campy movies that we love to watch, but it's a game in that format, and I really enjoyed it, and I think more people should play it, and I really hope eventually it makes it to the PS Plus catalog, because I would love to revisit again without having to find my PS2 in the garage.
Akeem, weren't you saying you have some like headcanon for this or theories or something weird?
Yeah, I do. But I also have some questions for Jada.
Yeah.
About this game. So the game is called The Bouncer. Who are they bouncing or protecting?
You are bouncing everybody that comes in your way, because
That works at all.
I was gonna say, wait
because
a minute.
you like some of the moves, they literally are bouncing people off the ground. So like it's more of the physical bouncing, like people, versus knocking them out of clubs. But yeah, it's
Yeah, they're
very
on like the back of a flatbed truck there. What
Yes.
nightclub are they trying to get into?
It doesn't even start like at a club.
It does start at a club.
no. So
I believe
it
it does. I believe it does start at a club. It's
okay.
bear with me, audience. Come for me at the comments if you want. It's been like 15 years since I played this damn game. But I believe it does have like an opening cutscene at a club, and then Scion gets some type of news, and then he has to go out and do something, and then it all just kind of starts from there.
That makes sense.
But yes,
It's like John Wick, but as a bouncer. Maybe he like bounced the wrong guy or
something like that. Yeah, it's been a minute. I probably should have reread the like the history of the story before I jumped into it. But it's just one of those games where like I don't even need to remember what the game is about to just remember how passionate and how much I love this game.
That's what we're talking about here. Is
Yes.
whether or not the game is good is incidental. This is about our fond
but the game
memories
is good.
from 23 years ago, thereabouts. I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good for
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, if you love Sora, you're definitely gonna love The Bouncer. I mean, that one character looks exactly like Sora. Can't take a punch like Sora.
Yeah. What if the cast of Tekken decided to beat up Sora and what is that? Like, are they at a pool? Where are they?
I believe this is at a
rink?
No, this is in the like it's kind of like a corporate building or whatnot. They're in, I
Sure,
believe.
why not?
So
Yeah, the hottest nightclub, the corporate building.
well, this is like later. This is pretty sure later in the game.
Fellas, this is a private event.
If I remember right,
It's an office holiday party. You can't hang out here. I'm gonna have to suplex you.
if I remember right, Doragon, the person they're trying to beat up or beat them up, is like one of the main baddies. So this is, I believe, like mid to later into the story.
Oregon.
Okay.
Wait, Akeem, what's your theory on this game? I'm
Well, no,
curious.
I was just honestly, it's super simple. I was like, this seems like it's just a fever dream that Sora is having, and
Oh yeah, one of
he's
his
just
many
wondering-
like Kingdom Hearts dreams.
Yeah, he travels.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that necklace.
What's
Like,
going on there? It's like a weird S&M
not
necktie. I
practical.
hate it.
yep.
He's
And
a
then-
SoundCloud rapper on the side as well as being a bouncer. So
Fair enough.
I think SoundCloud did come out around this time. So it tracks.
Good heavens.
Yeah, and then like the bigger brute Volt has like literal horns growing out of his head. I don't remember why he has like horns out of his head. but-
SoundCloud Strife. I like it.
So
Josh,
there's no demons in this game, right? There's
Just
no demons.
dragons.
It's just you're just fighting humans
Yes, just humans.
with horns. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
dudes with overalls and no shirt on.
They've got like the magical abilities as much as like somebody from like Tekken does, basically, kind of
yeah.
idea.
Speaking of, my
Yeah.
game is Tekken 5, but not the part you're thinking of. It's just the single player platformer beat 'em up portion called Devil Within, where you play as Jin and you just run around beating up people through levels. I don't know. I think
Josh basically took my answer and then copied my homework.
I mean, it's
without
kind of the
changing-
reverse. It's actually the opposite, where Jada's was a game that was a single player adventure with you have co-op and then you can actually fight against each other. But my game is
True.
a game where you fight each other and then you can play a single player version. This isn't footage of it, but this is just Tekken. But Devil Within, I don't remember what the plot was. Probably worse than the Bouncer.
Probably.
But Jin is just going through different levels, beating up people, and then doing some god-awful platforming. But the reason why it stuck with me is because back then I have 2 siblings, and like I can only buy games that were multiplayer essentially. And so anytime I didn't have
There we go.
someone to play with, there we go. I would just bring this guy out, and I wasn't this was like one of my first like single player campaign games, I guess, and I was not very good at it, and I think the checkpoints were like really brutal as well. So I remember sweating a lot like playing through this game, because if I died I would have to reset pretty far back. Wow, I didn't even remember like these maps are like.
That was the life of like PS2 games, though. Like you were very much at the mercy of where the designers decided, like, you get a save point here, you get a save point here. There weren't nearly as many checkpoints as we get nowadays. We are spoiled.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I think if this is the same video that I was looking at to refresh my memory too, there was a comment that was saying like, hey dude, there's like a block button, right? And the uploader responded and said, to be honest, I just wanted to get this over with. That's my general feelings about this.
you know what? If you don't get hit, you don't need to block. Is my general philosophy
That is very
in
true.
games. Hit them first, kill them first, and you don't need to block.
Now, I love single player stuff. I love stories, and I also love like fighting game rosters. But the problem is that like fighting games typically, they're about the fight, and I suck at that part. So it's kind of like I want to be. I don't know. Like I remember being like excited about Street Fighter the movie, the game, and like there's that one like Mortal Kombat.
Shaolin monks.
Was it Sub-Zero one, or there was Shaolin Monks? There was also one that was like Sub-Zero Origins Legacy something. I think it was on N64, but it was like it was like a side scroller.
Yeah.
Which it's also, I'm surprised we don't see this more often. Probably because they just are always horribly received.
Yeah.
The idea of being like, we already made this whole move set and this character. Like, what if we just made a story version where they, instead of just staying in the same room fighting a handful of characters, what if we just have them like walking along and going places?
Beating up scrubs. I think Tekken 3 and 4 had that, where it was a beat 'em up and you could select any one of the characters you wanted.
That sounds right. Because I think I remember going through as like Eddie Gordo, I believe.
Yeah.
Is what I remember going through and just
basically
like
did it.
cartwheeling people to death.
It makes a ton of sense for Tekken because it's 3D to begin with, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Akeem, what about you? What's your little favorite from the PS2 era?
Well, Max, I'm glad you asked. I have to go with the last game made by Team Silent before Konami decided to give this particular franchise to Western game devs, and that's Silent Hill 4: The Room was the last one, and it was beautiful. It wasn't necessarily connected to 1, 2, or 3, outside of just, of course, Silent Hill, these supernatural worlds being involved. This game, you play as a guy named Henry, and you're trapped in your apartment. You wake up one day, you're just trapped in your apartment. You have no idea what's going on, how you got trapped in your own apartment, until you discover a hole in your bathroom. And in your bathroom, that's where it transports you to these. It's technically supposed to be just like little areas of Silent Hill. And you start to uncover the mystery behind this serial killer who was born in your apartment. He died, but he somehow came back as like a ghost, and he's still killing because naturally, if serial killers could come back as ghosts, that's probably what they would do, what they do best. But yeah, this game was really, really frightening for me, and it's kind of similar to the other Silent Hill games in a sense where it's like you're playing as an ordinary person. So obviously your aim with a gun isn't going to be up to snuff. You're not going to have good aim. Also, when you're wielding like melee weapons, you actually can run out of strength. This game was just, I feel like it also has very early signs of PT, which I know a lot of people were, that's like that's a beloved, demo in the Silent Hill sphere, where when you're in your apartment, it's just first person. There's no like jump scares or anything like that, but it's first person, and you're navigating your apartment in first person, discovering clues here and there.
How big is the hole in the bathroom?
It's big enough for a human-sized man.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like a peephole or other kinds of holes.
Just sucked him in.
Yeah, I feel like this looks so creepy. The thing about like that era of games is like you'll see stuff that's kind of creepy, and then you got to remember that we were seeing it through like a CRT TV, which makes everything so much weirder looking. Like Silent Hill had that haze to it, and it was just very creepy.
So I've only played I think Silent Hill Homecoming and I believe Silent Hill 2 way back in the day. And like, don't all the protagonists, you said the protagonist of this one his name was Henry?
Yeah.
Aren't all the protagonists have like very general, like basic names like that? Like, it's not like, that's kind of
they have just like, very basic, I guess I don't want to say generic because I don't want to offend anyone, Henry, that's watching, they have just, I would say, general names for sure. And
I mean, like name like Scion or something. They're like
or Dugard. What was the name of that villain?
Duragon.
Duragon, yeah.
Dugong.
This is a game I would love to see kind of remastered. I feel like it was definitely a sleeper hit on the PlayStation 2. I mean, Team Silent went out with a bang. This one was like it was chef's kiss good. And I think you can download it on GOG.com. I just discovered because I was like trying to find like an older copy, but I'm like I'd rather just play it on my PC just to kind of relive those PS2 moments. But yeah, I definitely say if this is worth a revisit if you remember it from PlayStation 2, or it's just like worth just playing it if you're a fan of the Silent Hill franchise. Of course, we're all looking forward to Silent Hill 2 though.
We'll have to see
the remake of that. But.
We'll have to see how that does. Maybe that'll, we'll get a Silent Hill 4, The Room remake after that.
I want get some Tommy Wiseau Room in there too.
Yes, for sure.
Maybe someone's modded that in on PC. Maybe that joke is from 2011. Anyway,
what about you, Max? What was your PS2 darling?
So everyone loves Hulk Ultimate Destruction, but I was actually really fond of the one that came before it, which was just Hulk, based on the not great Ang Lee movie. Which again, weird casting for that. Like. What's like? I feel like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like floats like a bumblebee, feathers and wind, or what? And they're like Hulk smash, and it was weirdly like. I mean, that movie definitely doesn't hold up, but the game was pretty cool. It was the same studio that did the Ultimate Destruction as well as the prototype games, and also Simpsons Hit and Run, which was Radical Entertainment, and they since have been sort of rolled up and put into some bad corner of Activision support studios. But they made some pretty cool games back in the day, and this is This is not as good as Ultimate Destruction, but I just have a soft spot for it. I think I got it for like stupidly cheap in some bargain bin. And I love how cartoony it is. Like there's that movie is like very muted and somber, and like, contrary to that, like the game was very like, it's got this cool cel shaded look. It's very toyetic. The stupid thing, much like having a, nuanced emotional director take on, to go from The Ice Storm, a movie about people having marital problems in the 70s, to Hulk smash is a weird choice. I don't understand that director choice at all. But anyway,
I said Ice Storm, and I thought The Day After Tomorrow, and it was like there was marital problems. I missed that plot line.
They were running away from the ice, the cold. Yeah. But no, like this game had stealth sequences where you had to play as Bruce Banner, which was like very funny, because when you think like Hulk, like it's synonymous with smashing and like yelling, and like he literally will like clap so hard it kills people. And like that is not stealthy. That is not like, this is a giant 9 foot tall enormous man who crushes things. But it's like, what if you played as a guy with purple pants who has to be sneaky? But I don't know. Like I love the sort of aesthetic of this game. I think it looks really cool, and it paved the way for Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which was, I think, much more what people wanted from Hulk.
Fantastic.
But I don't know. Yeah. I have a soft spot for that.
I gotta say, Max, I love from the clip that we were just watching. For those listening, I love the product placement. Bruce Banner was drinking Mountain Dew, which is a green beverage, I'm like, that's kind of on the nose. Like I'm kind of surprised he wouldn't go for like a purple drink. or
Also,
something.
That's not how Hulk gets his powers, by drinking too much Mountain Dew.
There's gamma
That was
radiation.
Hulk
in
jam.
Mountain
that's
think it works
Abomination. That's how his thing. No, I love that. Like, I love the bit in the Edward Norton one where he's like about to screw around and his heart rate goes up and he's like, no, I can't do this right now. But I like the idea that he's like, I'm trying to keep my pulse down, but I'm pounding all this Mountain Dew, getting all riled up, and they're like, please stop, sir. Give this man some melatonin. No, I don't know. That was a fun one, but yeah, like we said, the PS2 had some amazing games. Like, honestly, trying to dig around and find some ones that are like, oh, also, everybody in the comments is going to be like, the Warriors, and it's like, yes, the Warriors.
If you were thinking the Warriors, you owe me a quarter.
Yeah,
like please.
If everyone says something is great, it's not underrated. Everyone agrees the Warriors was awesome. It's just, I think the game has more fans than the movie it's based on. But yeah, that was, I don't know.
And none of us think that the bouncer is very good, except Jada. So that's what makes
exactly-
it underrated.
that's what makes it
Those
underrated.
bouncer fans are getting ready
I
to put on their
cannot
overalls
wait.
and beat you up in the
I cannot
parking lot.
wait
You know
to
what?
see all
Come
those
out.
comments.
Let me see. Come out and bounce me. I dare
Can
you.
we just admit the bouncer was never good?
What are we doing here? Why do we have to do this?
There we
Can
go.
just
You
admit
got
the
it on
Warriors
record.
was always good.
Yeah, got on record.
I love that the Warriors was like, was that pre or post San Andreas? I can't even remember. That was
This was pre San Andreas. This was post, I think, Vice City. I think it was
Okay.
right. I think it was right after Vice City, but
so
before
yeah.
San Andreas.
This was a Rockstar blank check game. This was like, what do you want to spend your money on? Like, wake up Barry Dvorak. We need original music based on that hit film directed by Walter Hill, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like just
I believe you.
definitely a deep cut based on a book, no less.
Yeah.
Like Die Hard, one of those movies that everyone knows the movie and like 4 people have read the book and they're like, it's fine. Anyway, I love this. This game was cool as hell. But yeah, the Warriors is great. Hulk, not as good, but I like it too. Yeah, let us know what your favorite PS2 games that nobody else loves except for a bunch of people in various internet forums and comment sections who probably also love it. I mean, no matter what your favorite game is, you can find somebody out there who also loves that game.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So let's all focus on positivity. If you enjoyed that, check out full episodes of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation shows. We goof around about everything PlayStation related, sometimes covering it seriously. New episodes drop every Tuesday on IGN.com or YouTube.com/IGN Games.